Alright, let's see if we can do this in one attempt. Flavor, come on. Ugh. Yeah, I still have Jinx to fight too. This was a bad lead. This was a pretty bad lead. I ain't liking that. Wait, what? What the frick? There's nothing I could have done there. It was faster. Well, crap. Yeah, that's how I lost my first attempt. What is going on, YouTube? FireRed the Samurai here, and welcome back to another video. So, I decided to try a brand new challenge while I am attempting to do a hardcore Nuzlocke of a really hard ROM hack. And I decided to try a Wedlocke of FireRed. If you don't know what a Wedlocke is, I do have a video talking about the different variants of Nuzlocking, and that is one of those variants in the video. But, in case you don't know, here are the rules. Rule 1, your Pokemon must be paired. So, say I get a male Bulbasaur. I have to pair that up with a female Rattata. Rule number 2, you cannot switch out your pairs with other Pokemon on the PC until either one or both pairs are dead. That does also mean that if you have a Pokemon that is not paired, that is a male, and if one of your pairs male dies, that means you have to pair that pair up together. Rule number 3, you cannot catch genderless Pokemon. Now, when this challenge was created by Maryland, played with that rule set, but he encouraged a variety of different play styles for however you want to play, and that is also what I encourage. I am just going based off of Maryland's rule set. And rule number 4, you can only switch between the pairs. Now, say a Pokemon gets roared. You will have to use that new pair instead, but typically you cannot switch to a Pokemon that is not your pair, which it does make how you go into a battle all the more important. Now, if you can tell by the title, I am doing something very different. I am doing a hardcore Wedlocke. So, with the added hardcore rule set, I cannot heal my Pokemon in battle or use any items that are not held items, and I have to play in set mode, which makes things a little more difficult in terms of having the advantage and having team synergy. So yeah, that's the basic idea of what I'm doing, and if you want to support the channel, please like the video. It does help with growing the channel, and honestly, I've been blown away by the growth I have seen so far, and I legitimately just can't thank you guys enough. So without further ado, let's jump into this Wedlocke. So I get the game started, and I choose Bulbasaur as my starter, who I name Subaru, and for this attempt, going with a ReZero nickname theme. After getting Oak's parcel and giving it to him, I get Pokeballs, and I am able to catch a female Pidgey, who I call Rem, who is ReZero's best girl. Comment below and let me know how right I am. Then I catch a female Mankey, who I call Ram, and a male Caterpie, who I nickname Roswald. Then I take on Brock, who Subaru cleanly handles with Vine Whip, earning me my first badge. Then I buy the Magikarp, naming it Garfield, and I catch a Zubat, and I name it Beatrice, making a full team of pairs. Then I backtrack and catch Spearow, who I name Otto, and a Rattata, who I name Amelia. After Mount Moon, I catch an Ekans, who I name Petra, and then I battle Misty. Misty Staryu goes for Harden, but one crit Vine Whip takes Staryu out. Then comes Starmie. Starmie uses Swift, and one Vine Whip takes it down to half. After taking another Swift, my next Vine Whip takes it down to the red, and knowing Misty will Super Potion, I Leech Seed to get a little bit of health back. After taking a another Swift. Vine Whip takes Starmie down to yellow, and Leaf Seed recovers my health back into the green. After taking one more Swift, Subaru's Vine Whip takes Starmie out, earning me my water badge. Then I catch an Oddish, who I name Priscilla, a Weedle, who I name Windhelm, a Meowth, who I name Ferris, a Diglett, who I name Felt, and a Drowsy, who I name Anastasia. Then it is time to fight Lieutenant Surge. Ram takes a Screech and then digs. One dig takes Voltorb out and then comes Pikachu. Knowing that a quick attack will really hurt, I switch into Roswell, who takes a Thunder Wave. Then after Pikachu double teams, Roswell hits a Stun Spore, and I switch back into Ram. After Lieutenant Surge uses a full heal, making that whole exchange pointless, Ram digs, and luckily is able to hit Pikachu, taking it out. Now comes Raichu. Raichu double teams, and Ram digs. After dig takes Raichu all the way down to the yellow. One Shockwave hits hard, taking Ram to 28 health. Then I go for Karate Chop, taking Raichu out and paralyzing Ram in the process. And I get my third badge. Then I catch a Growlithe, who I name Reinhardt. And then it is time to battle my Pokemon Bae, Erika. Or, as I like to say, Baerika. She sends out Victory Bell, and I send out Rem. I go for a Fly, and Victory Bell misses a Sunspore. Then my Fly takes Victory Bell down to the yellow, and Sunspore connects. After taking an Acid, I go for a Wing Attack, taking Victory Bell out. Then comes Tangela. After taking a Giga Drain, Rem flies. Then Tangela ingrains, and Fly takes Tangela down to the yellow. After taking a Constrict, Wing Attack takes Tangela out. Then comes Vileplume. I switch into Subaru, and Subaru takes an Acid. I then start to growl, knowing that poison is physical, and Subaru takes a Stun Spore. As Vileplume continues to Acid, I continue to growl. This goes on for a little bit, and then I switch right back into Rem, who takes an Acid that barely does anything. Acid does a little more damage, and I go for Wing Attack, but I am fully paralyzed. Then Vileplume Giga Drains, taking Rem to 9 HP, and Wing Attack only does about half. After another Giga Drain, Rem goes down. But then I send Subaru out, and after taking an Acid, I use Cut, and after another Acid, Subaru uses Cut again. After a couple more cuts, I take Vileplume down to the red, and Erika Hyper Potions. This is where Subaru falls, and unfortunately there is no return by death. So, to avenge Subaru and Rem, I send Beatrice out, who almost takes Vileplume out with one Wing Attack, but then Vileplume Stun Spores. After taking an Acid that does barely anything, one more Wing Attack takes Vileplume out, and I beat the Bae. So I decide my new pair will be Reinhardt the Growlithe and Anastasia the Drowsy. Then after taking care of Mama Ghost, I get the Pokeflute and I catch a Snorlax, who I name Rom. And then after a very unfortunate trainer battle, I lose both Garfield and Beatrice to a Voltorb. I decide to pair Vileplume and Snorlax together, who are both bulky Pokemon, and as I learned from my first attempt, I needed something to cover Snorlax's fighting weakness, so Vileplume's the choice. Then I fight Koga, who leads with Coughing and I lead with Anastasia. One Psychic takes Coughing out, and then comes Muck. One Psychic takes Muck down to half, and then Muck minimizes. Luckily, Psychic hits Muck again, and Muck goes down. Then another Coughing comes out, and one Psychic handles that. And finally, Wheezing comes out, who barely goes down to a Psychic. And then after Sludge poisons Anastasia, Koga heals Wheezing, and a high roll Psychic takes Wheezing out. And I get my 5th badge from Koga. Then I catch a male Nidoran in the Safari Zone, and I fight my rival in the Silph Company, which was a very hard battle. I lead with my Snorlax and Vileplume pair. Pidgeot Feather Dances, and Rom uses Body Slam. After using a couple of Surfs, Pidgeot goes down. Then comes Gyarados. I switch into Priscilla, who takes a Dragon Rage, and then I Stun Spore the Gyarados. Then after Moonlighting, I Acid, and I take Gyarados out. Then Execute comes out. One Acid takes Execute down to below half, and Execute gets a Stun Spore off. After taking a Confusion, Acid takes Execute out. Then comes Alakazam. I switch Rom out, Alakazam Future Sights in the switch, then Alakazam Calm Minds, and one Body Slam takes Alakazam out completely. Now comes Charizard. I lead with Yawn, then Charizard Wing Attacks, and living on 10 HP, I rest, and the Chestnut Berry wakes Snorlax up, and Charizard falls asleep. Then after 3 Surfs, Charizard goes down, which I survive one of the hardest rival fights in the game. Then I pick up a Lapras, who I name Ryu. Then it's my fight with Giovanni, which doesn't go down too well. I use Dig, and after almost taking out Nidorino, Ram gets poisoned. After one more Dig, Nidorino goes down, and then comes Nidoqueen. I switch into Roswell, who takes a Poison Sting. Then after a Tail Whip, Psybeam does a bit of damage and confuses Nidoqueen. Then Nidoqueen breaks through the confusion, and Tail Whips again, and Psybeam takes Nidoqueen down to a third of health. After breaking through confusion again, a crit Poison Sting really hurts Roswell and poisons, and Psybeam takes Nidoqueen down to the red. After Nidoqueen uses Double Kick, Psybeam takes Nidoqueen out. Then Rhyhorn comes out. After taking a Scary Face, Low Kick takes Rhyhorn out, and then comes Nidoking. After taking a Rage, Brick Break nearly takes Kangaskhan out, but Poison takes Ram out. Psybeam nearly takes Kangaskhan out, and Kangaskhan uses Tail Whip. Then Roswell survives the poison on 1 HP. And finally, I'm able to take Kangaskhan out with one more Psybeam. After grabbing the Eevee, who I name Ricardo, I replace Primeape with Lapras, and then it's time to take on Sabrina. I lead with Reinhardt, and I start double teaming. Kadabra uses Calm Mind, then I use Takedown, which takes Kadabra out in one hit. Then Mr. Mime comes out. After using one more double team, Mr. Mime's Psybeam misses. Using another double team, starts to use Calm Mind to set up. One takedown from Reinhardt takes Mr. Mime out, and then comes Venomoth. After using one Flame Wheel, Venomoth goes down. And then comes the scary Alakazam. It starts off using a Calm Mind, and I use Takedown, hoping it would take it out, but it lives in the red. After Sabrina uses Hyper Potion, I use Thief, knowing that regardless of what I do next, Takedown will take Alakazam out. But Alakazam's Psychic connects, and it takes Reinhardt out. Then I switch into Hypno. I try to disable the Psychic, but after taking 2 Psychics, that just doesn't happen. Then, after Alakazam Calm Minds, that's when Disable decides it wants to work. So, after Psychic takes Anastasia down to 11 HP, one Headbutt takes Alakazam down to yellow. And luckily, Alakazam goes for Future Sight, and Anastasia's Headbutt takes Alakazam out, earning me the badge, but at a cost. Then I bring in Ricardo the Eevee, then evolve Ricardo into Jolteon. Then I catch a Tangela, who I name Krush, and a Coughing, who I name Mealy. Then it's time for my fight with Blaine. Blaine leads with Growlithe, and I lead with Lapras. One Surf takes Growlithe out, and then comes Ponyta. And then Surf takes Ponyta out. And then comes Rapidash. After tanking a Fire Blast, Surf takes Rapidash down to 1 HP. And then after Blaine uses Hyper Potion, Rapidash goes down to a Roll Surf. And then comes Arcanine. After taking some pretty decent damage from Fire Blast, Arcanine goes down to a Crit Surf. And I get my Volcano badge. Then I catch a Psyduck, and then I battle Giovanni for the last time. I pretty much one-shot everything in Giovanni's gym with Surf. Any Water-type Pokemon is extremely good for Giovanni. Honestly, in this point of the game, Giovanni's team is just too weak, especially when he has a level 50 Rhyhorn and not a Rhydon, and when he doesn't have his Kangaskhan. So, Giovanni goes down really easily, with Lapras only taking damage to Dugtrio. Then I fight my rival before the Elite Four, which doesn't go too well. Alakazam takes Vileplume out, and then Charizard takes Snorlax out with a crit wing attack. So yeah, that was a little rough. But Ricardo does finish Charizard off with a Shockwave. So I decided to move forward with the pairing of Doduo and Nidoking. And now it is time for my second attempt of the Elite Four. This goes a lot smoother since I teach Jolteon Thunderbolt this time, and one Thunderbolt takes Dugong out, and then Cloyster goes down to a Thunderbolt, and then Slowbro goes down to a Thunderbolt, but Lapras survives one Thunderbolt, and Ricardo gets hit by Surf. Then after a full restore, Thunderbolt takes Lapras down to 1 HP, and then after another full restore, Ricardo's Thunderbolt takes Lapras back down to red, and then I'm finally able to finish Lapras off. Then comes Jinx. One Thunderbolt takes Jinx down to a third of health, but then Jinx lovely kisses. I switch into Anastasia, who resists Jinx's attract, and then Anastasia takes Jinx out with a headbutt. That's one Elite Four member down. Then it's time for the man who beat me, Bruno. I lead with Puck to Nidoking, and Nidoking avoids a Rock Tomb. After a full restore, Earthquake takes Onix to the red, and then another Earthquake takes Onix out. Then Bruno's second Onix comes out, which does no Earthquake. So Puck uses the Earthquake, taking Onix down to the yellow, and then Bruno's Onix uses the Earthquake, taking Puck down to 95 health. Then one more Earthquake takes Onix out, and then comes Hitmonlee. I go for Secret Power, which does a little above half, and Mega Kick takes Nidoking down to 54 health. Then I switch into Mimi, and Hitmonlee's Mega Kick misses. So then, learning my lesson after last time, I use Drill Peck instead of Fly, taking Hitmonlee down. Hitmonchan comes out. Drill Peck takes Hitmonchan out, and then Machamp comes out. One Drill Peck takes Machamp down to the red, and then I take a Scary Face. Machamp is faster after the Scary Face, using Cross Chop, which takes Mimi down to 54 health, but Drill Peck does manage to take Machamp out, and I get my revenge against Bruno. Now it's Agatha's turn. Agatha leads with Gengar, and I lead with Roswald. Gengar uses Double Team, and I go for a Psychic, missing. Gengar goes for another Double Team, and Psychic hits. After taking a Shadow Punch, Psychic hits again, taking Gengar out. Then comes Golbat. I switch into Ryu, and Air Cutter does a little bit of damage. Then Golbat uses Confuse Ray, and Ryu breaks through the confusion and hits an Ice Beam, taking Golbat down to the red. After taking a Air Cutter from Golbat, Ryu hits himself in confusion, and then after taking one more Air Cutter, Ryu snaps out of confusion and takes Golbat out with Surf. Then comes Arbok. Arbok uses Sludge Bomb, poisoning Ryu, and I go for Body Slam, which doesn't do that much damage after being intimidated. I switch into Roswald, who barely survives the Sludge Bomb, and then one crit Psychic takes Arbok out. Then Agatha's last Gengar comes out. I try and go for a Sunspore, but Gengar is faster and Shadow Ball takes it out. Then I send Ryu out, knowing it's doomed. Sludge Bomb takes Ryu down to 36 health, and Surf takes it a little above half. Then, unfortunately, Sludge Bomb takes Lapras out. I send out my strongest physical Pokemon, Mimi, who avoids the Hypnosis, and Drill Peck takes Gengar out. Then comes Haunter, who goes down to a single Drill Peck, and I beat Agatha. Down to only 2 pairs, I fight Lance. Lance leads with Gyarados, and I lead with Ricardo. Ricardo uses Thunderbolt, taking Gyarados down in one hit. Then I Sand Attack. After a couple turns, I switch into Hypno, who tanks an Outrage. Then I start to set up 6 Calm Minds. One Psychic takes Dragonair out. Then comes the second Dragonair. Psychic takes the second Dragonair out. And then comes Dragonite. One Psychic does not take Dragonite out, instead taking it to the red. But luckily, with the Citrus Berry proc, it raises Dragonite's health enough to where it won't full restore. Then one more Psychic takes Dragonite out. Then comes Aerodactyl. Ancient Power does do a little bit of damage, but one Psychic takes Aerodactyl out. And I beat Lance. Before my rival fight, I teach Nidoking Thunder and Water Pulse. And then it is time for the rival fight. My rival leads with Pidgeot, and I lead with Nidoking. Puck uses Thunder, which connects, taking Pidgeot down to the red, and Pidgeot Feather Dances. Then after a full restore, Thunder takes Pidgeot to the yellow and paralyzes. I decide to Water Pulse, knowing that I have negative attack because of the Feather Dance, and my rival switches the Rhydon, which Water Pulse almost takes it out. Then one more Water Pulse does take Rhydon out, and then comes Alakazam. After a little bit of deliberation, I decide to sacrifice Nidoking. Puck does survive a Psychic, and takes Alakazam down to above half. Then Alakazam delivers the final blow on Puck, and I send Mimi out. Mimi gloriously survives the Psychic on 40 HP, and Drill Peck takes Alakazam out. Then comes Executor. Drill Peck takes Executor down to the red, but Egg Bomb takes Mimi out. Then I send Anastasia out, and the champion uses full restore, and I headbutt. Then I start to Calm Mind, but Executor's Egg Bomb crits, taking me down to 53 health. Then I protect to try and get a little bit of health back from leftovers. Then I go for a headbutt, which does very little damage, and Executor uses Egg Bomb again, critting, taking Anastasia out. I Sand Attack to lower Executor's accuracy, and it connects to Sleep Powder. I luckily wake up the next turn and get another Sand Attack off, but Egg Bomb hits Ricardo with -2 accuracy and crits again. Then I Pin Missile, needing it to hit 5 times, but it stops short at 4. And unfortunately, Egg Bomb connects, taking Ricardo out, and I lose at the champion. I'm starting to think that this challenge might not be doable. I'm starting to think that I'm not good enough to do this challenge as a hardcore Wedlocke. I'm starting to think I hit my wall. One more attempt! That's right, I do one more attempt. After losing 7 Pokemon, I managed to make it back to the Elite Four with the team of Clefable and Exeggutor, Arcanine and Dodrio, and then finally, Gyarados and Beedrill. Wait a minute, Sairai, you're going into the Elite Four with a Beedrill. Yes, and here's why. Beedrill is going to be great in one specific instance. In fact, this Beedrill almost single-handedly took Sabrina out. Sheesh! This might actually be a really dangerous move. I need to make sure I'm faster than Alakazam. Don't ever doubt Beedrill, guys. Don't ever doubt Beedrill. Alakazam! Bye-bye, Alakazam. So, I think it can do it. So my battle with Lorelai is obviously a little different since I don't have Jolteon. But with Clefable, I use 3 minimizes to raise my evasiveness up completely. Then I start to Calm Mind, maxing out my special attack and special defense. Then after maxing everything out, I just Shockwave, taking Dugong out, taking Cloyster out, taking Slowbro out, taking Lapras out, and taking Jinx out. And then I fight Bruno again. My strategy here is also different. I lead with a Sunny Day and get hit with a Rock Tomb. But because of Chlorophyll, it doesn't really affect me too much. Then I start to Psychic. Onix goes down to a Psychic, Hitmonchan goes down to a Psychic, Hitmonlee goes down to Psychic, Onix goes down to Psychic, and then after Machamp bulk ups, it goes down to a Psychic. And I decide to use the same strat against Agatha. I lead with Exeggutor again. Gengar double teams and I Sunny Day. I miss my first Psychic, and Gengar hits another double team. I miss my second Psychic, and Gengar hits a Shadow Punch. My third Psychic connects, and it takes Gengar out. Then Arbok comes out. One Psychic takes Arbok out. Agatha's strongest Gengar comes out. I risk getting hit by a Shadow Ball, and go for Sunny Day. Instead, Gengar uses Hypnosis, and misses. Then Sunny Day is set up again, and I am faster because of Chlorophyll. Gengar goes down to a Psychic. Then comes Golbat. One Psychic takes Golbat out, and last but not least comes Haunter, who goes down to one Psychic. And bam, Agatha's out. Then it's time for Lance, which I decide to use the Minimize Calm Mind strat. After maxing out my special defense and special attack, I start to Shockwave, which takes Gyarados out in one hit. Then Aerodactyl comes out. Aerodactyl misses a wing attack, and Shockwave takes Aerodactyl out. And then comes Dragonite. After Dragonite safeguards, one Shockwave almost does a little under half. Then Clefable takes a wing attack, and Q-Charm activates. Shockwave takes Dragonite to the red, then the Citrus Berry activates, taking it to the yellow. Not wanting to risk going down to a crit, I go for Moonlight. Dragonite is immobilized by Love, and I heal back to full health. Wing attack connects, and Shockwave takes Dragonite out. Then comes Dragonair. First I Moonlight to get my health back, and then I just Shockwave. This goes on for a little bit, but I am in no real danger, taking out both Dragonairs and beating Lance. Now it is time for my rematch with my rival. He leads with Pidgeot, and I lead with Gyarados, wanting to lead with a Pokemon that I haven't used throughout this Elite Four. I lead with Rain Dance, and Aerial Ace hits, doing very little damage. Then Gyarados uses a Thunder, which takes Pidgeot down to below half, and paralyzes it. Gyarados takes one more Aerial Ace, but that does no real damage. Then predicting a switch like last time, I use Surf, but it doesn't switch, and I take Pidgeot out. Then comes Rhyhorn. With a Rain boosted and Mystic Water Surf, Rhyhorn goes down. And then comes Alakazam. Alakazam uses Reflect, and Surf takes it below half. Then the rain stops, and Alakazam uses Psychic, which hits pretty hard, and I bring back the rain using Rain Dance. Alakazam uses Psychic one more time, and Gyarados lives on 9 HP, with Surf taking Alakazam out. Then comes Exeggutor. I use Thunder, hoping to paralyze Exeggutor, but I don't get the paralysis, and Gyarados goes down to Egg Bomb. So then I send Beedrill out. Beedrill uses Twin Needle, which takes Exeggutor down to the yellow, and Exeggutor's Egg Bomb misses for the first time ever. Also, Reflect wears off, which is pretty nice. One more Twin Needle takes Exeggutor out, and then comes Charizard. It stops raining, and Fire Blast takes my Beedrill out. Then I go to Dodrio. I use Tri-Attack, hoping I can get a Freeze or a Paralysis off, but that doesn't happen, and Fire Blast takes me out. Then I go with Arcanine. I Extreme Speed and take Charizard down to yellow, and then Fire Blast hits pretty hard. After using another Extreme Speed, it crits, but then takes Charizard down to the red. A Blaze boosted Fire Blast takes Arcanine down to 22 health. There's not much I can do except Extreme Speed, so after a full restore, I use Extreme Speed. Then after one more Extreme Speed crits, taking Charizard back down to the red, Arcanine goes down to an Aerial Ace. Then I send out Exeggutor. Charizard uses full restore, and I use Psychic, taking it down to a little above half. I try to get a Leech Seed off, but one Fire Blast completely takes Exeggutor out, and all that is left standing is my Clefable. I send Clefable out, and Charizard uses Fire Spin, and I Calm Mind. Realizing I should have just led with Minimize, next turn I Minimize and slash crits. It does activate Cute Charm though, so that does help. Charizard is immobilized by Love, and I go for a Moonlight, not wanting a crit to take me out, on top of taking Fire Spin damage. So then Charizard breaks through with Slash, but misses, and then I set up another Minimize. Charizard breaks through again and hits Clefable with an Aerial Ace. Then I Calm Mind one more time, ready to end this. Spega is immobilized by Love, and then goes down to one Shockwave. And then comes my rival's last Pokemon, Gyarados. Gyarados does hit a Dragon Rage, but then Shockwave hits, taking Gyarados out. And I did it. I beat my hardcore Wedlocke. This was definitely a really crazy challenge, and I'm really glad I tried this. The Wedlocke has been one of my favorite Nuzlocke variants since I watched Maryland create this variant, and I am so excited that I got to not only put my own spin on it, utilizing the hardcore challenge and playing in set mode, but I got to beat this Nuzlocke relatively soon compared to my other hardcore Nuzlocks, which takes around 10 to 12 attempts. So that was nice. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you are not subscribed, and yeah, I look forward to the next video. Peace out.